Y'all know I love coffee. Coffee gives me life. If you guys only knew the amount of preparation that it takes to have all these little things around in a circle down pack. Good morning, bro. What's up? To have all of your little technical stuff, your lighting, your laptop, two phones, doing all this stuff, trying to stay on a time schedule. Like, yo, y'all, it's really a lot. That's like in that area of things that's not talked about or shared. It be a lot going on. Especially when you're trying to do stuff yourself and you don't got that team of a lot of people that can just help you get everything done, like, and really be there. The drop of a dime. That's the huge difference. That's why I'm like the main thing that I'm really super focused on, and all I'm really doing like for the last 2 years is just investing in money and everything that's going to elevate me to the next level, whether it be technical, whether it be relationships, whether whatever the case may be, education. My focus right now at this level where I'm at, in order to get to the next level, I need to just keep investing a lot of money and time into what's going to get me to the next level. Because I say this to myself, and I'm gonna tell you guys to say it to yourself as well. You already have what it takes. What differentiates you from the next person is a lot of the times having the resources, having the tools, and being able to create the strategy. That's the only thing that differentiates you from another person that you feel you're like, oh well, how he, oh well, you may think that that person is a lack thereof, but they may have more hands on than you, so they beat you. Good morning, guys. First, I'd like to say good morning, good morning. I hope you guys have said your prayers. I hope you've said some affirmations, spoke some life into yourself, and thirdly, I hope that you guys are ready to take massive action in your life, in all of those prayers and affirmations and goal setting and all those things you're doing. It really take a map and a plan to be able to hit that ultimate goal. So after you've done your prayers, you said your affirmations, you made the intention. So now it's time to go. It's time to make an impact. It's time to put your feet on the gas. As ET say, it's time to start the hunt process. And that's the process that eliminates a lot of people because they're afraid and they're not ready. So I love to first and foremost say that to you guys. Secondly, I'd like to say I am very blessed. I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. I'm very proud to be a fighter and a survivor of many things. And I want to encourage and help you guys to do the same thing as well, because that other side is not as far fetched once you start putting the work in. So, on my journey of doing so, I hope to encourage and help you guys to get to the next level as well, because this thing takes process. And y'all see me, y'all see me, y'all see me, y'all gonna keep seeing me. And I'm gonna let y'all know y'all gonna keep seeing me. And I haven't even like swished my feet around and dug a hole yet, right? So I'm really just at the top surface of the process. I promise you guys. So get used to seeing me, and whatever it is that you do, do the same thing as well. Never, don't let your feet up off of the gas, and don't let what you're doing right now just be something for right now. Make people know who you are. Make people respect you as a person first. Secondly, as a professional, make people know and understand why your products or services is better than the next person. Because at the end of the day, it's competition, but it's healthy competition. And the thing is, what's going to differentiate you from the rest? That's the thing. So I'm sorry about that, guys. And yeah, so I'm your girl, Finance Muslima. I am your licensed life insurance agent in the states of Georgia, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. And if you guys are just tuning in and don't know, I'm currently licensed in the state of Jersey. So if you need life insurance, you're in New Jersey, holler at your girl. I got you covered. And shout outs to my client Khadija in Durham, North Carolina, and sending me that Jersey Connect. Thanks, sis. I appreciate you as always. Um, so yeah, 5 states. I'm really grateful, guys. That's just the life insurance side of what I bring to the table. And on a serious note, I really, really do be super excited for the life insurance side because helping families, you know what I mean, get coverage and protection is a whole nother level. And then also, this is the thing too. When I have this conversation with people, it's hard because if you okay, so listen, I have to be real with y'all, but I'm gonna tell y'all like this, right? You know, and I know. Let's be all the way honest. Y'all know I like to be transparent, and I can't do nothing but be real. When we're dealing with each other, and I deal with our people, we don't when we don't know certain things. Sometimes we get frustrated, and you may think somebody trying to get over on you, or oh, this is a scam. This may not real be real, but that's a mindset thing. So dealing with our people, especially talking about finances, life insurance, credit, trust funds, building wealth, all these kind of stuff. People don't tend to trust. That's not an easy conversation. So they ask you like all these questions, right? Constantly call you, beat your phone up, like da, 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 because they just don't understand. I have learned, it gets frustrating, but I have learned to be patient with our people and just walk them through and just give them the real, just be honest. Some people will be like, oh, well, I can't do this right now, like this is too much, I can't focus on it. It's not too much, you're just not familiar with the process. And sometimes when things are new to us, we tend to shut down because we're just not used to it. It's not regular to us, which is fine. And I'll say, okay, well, just call me back when you're ready, or something like that. And guess what? They'll could they'll call back a couple months later. Oh, well, I was it's hard to work with our people sometimes. It's very frustrating when it comes to this industry that I am talking money and personal life things. So I've grown again to have this level of patience and do my woosah and bring my due diligence to the table and help our people because I already know what it's about because I've been there, not trusting, not knowing what's going on. Do this person know what they're talking about? So I had to step back, like, yo, I've really been through this too. I know the feeling that they're going through. So long as they're being coachable and they wanting help, I'll stay consistent and do my side. But you guys know it's challenging dealing with our people. So say a light prayer for me every day as I'm doing my due diligence in these streets or whether it be online because it is a lot and it's not an easy thing. So I told you guys for the month of March, all March, I'm focusing on Women's History Month. So I've been talking about a slew of things. We talked about the men, what we should know, dating somebody or like before making commitment or before jumping into marriage, you should have the finance conversation and know what their long-term and short-term goals are, their plans, their habits, how they think, what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And it alleviates a lot of people sometimes. So that's why sometimes some people don't want to have the conversation because they're afraid because they want that person to be for them for whatever other reason, right? We want to block those red flags, but the hard conversations we need to have. So we talked about that. We talked about women holding down the household, being totally responsible for all the financial decisions. Um, and we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about women, like, just celebrating us, getting more into um, celebrating us, whether it be small milestones. And that was another thing too. I was talking to you guys about that last week when I was like, I need to get better with celebrating my little small milestones, right? Because like I don't know, but like as the older I get and like this whole new vibe or this whole new wave or this feeling thing. Like I travel so much and I do so much stuff, or I might like I just recently was in Atlanta for a couple of days, something like that. Like I really don't share a lot if I'm going for leisure or to go take care of business, because moving around and stuff like that is not new to me. So I don't have to always share everything. But then I'll be thinking, like, I'm always going to get content, right? I'm always going to grab some content. But yes, yes, ma'am, they do. Good morning. How are you, sis? So yeah, I'm just like I'm in this element where it's like, yeah, I got both of my phones, and then a lot of time, like I'm out with my people, and I'm like, yo, I'm just vibing, I'm having a cool, chill time. I don't like not really taking a lot of pictures and stuff as much. Like I'm really learning to live in the moment. Like I'll get pictures and stuff like that. But then I'll post stuff, my content. People like, oh, where are you at? Or like, are you home yet? And I'm like, girl, I've been home for 2 days. Like, y'all know I post late, you know? And then I have a posting schedule. So a lot of my things are automated. It keeps my life a lot easier. But yeah, I'm like, I had a dang, I said, I gotta try to, it's a lot to try to balance. It's really a lot. And I'll be somewhere with one of my friends or, an associate or business bestie, and they'd be like posting fun the page, and they'd be like, "Oh, you ain't sharing no pictures." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I will. I'll put them on my story. Like, just give me a minute." So we talked about all of these things, celebrating your wins, um, all of these kind of stuff, appreciating the journey, trusting the process, appreciating the wins and losses throughout this whole thing. So today I want to talk about protecting your babies with life insurance. The reason that this topic must be talked about, your girl is all things life insurance. First and foremost, I'm gonna give y'all some good tips of some things to know that your life insurance agent may not have given you game on when it comes to the children. But so as women and as being nurturers and as being a lot of women, guys, a lot of women I'm meeting are the sole provider of their household. And me, I am as well. So it's so important for us to move different and prioritize our financial foundation. I always talk about, because if we do one thing wrong or one thing out of the ordinary happen, and we need to attend to that, if we're not on point, it'll throw your whole thing off track. Really quick for an example, and like in 2015 when I hit rock bottom, right? And life just started to happen. Wasn't living off the business no more. Car payments getting backed up. Late on rent at times and all this stuff, right? But had I had an emergency fund, that cushion, when life started to happen and I was no longer able to live off the business as I was, then I would have had that account to dip in and be able to substitute and move things around, if that makes sense. So that's a perfect example. Me. That's a perfect example. So when we lack one thing as being, the whole, like we're responsible for everything, the household, the children, everything, that all of the activity in and out of the house, the income, the expenses, everything is solely based upon us, and it's a lot. So it's so super important to not hit rock bottom, not experience financial depression, not start to deal with financial anxiety at night like how I used to do, because you're just damn so stressed out. There's so much going on. You're afraid to talk to people. Don't want nobody to know the real that you're really going through it. So, in order to avoid that, the best thing to do is to have your things together. Get your A game together. I highly, highly, highly encourage you guys, because this is the thing. A lot of people look like to us like they have their ish together, and a lot of people don't. And I'm not the person to sit on here and say what people may or may not have, because that's not my business. But I have to be real with y'all and be honest and let y'all know. Sometimes we tend to look up to people that we feel are doing some really amazing things, all because of material things. And guys, we get it so misconstrued. That's so not the deal. It's so not the deal. Like whatever industry or whatever business they in, those things probably sell for them and help them make money. But trust and believe, nobody has it all together. You guys' favorite thing is Jay Z and Beyonce, right? I love them too. Nobody has everything together. So I want to encourage you guys to have this conversation and let you guys know life insurance for your babies is essential. You're solely responsible for them if something happens. People are downplaying it. You have babies dying at 5, 6 months old, catching diseases, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, getting caught up in shootouts in the city. Yes, I'm from Philly. It happens. We got to be real. And then, you can't mourn because you're running around trying to scrape up pennies to have a janaza or a burial for your little baby that you thought that was going to live forever, and and that's how we want to think, and that's how it's supposed to be, I guess. But we don't know, we don't have control over certain things, so the whole thing is just to be prepared. If you're just tuning in and you're new, go to the website www.faithfamilyfinance.co and get you some freebies, download you some stuff. Order the Mindset and Money Game Planner, so on sale for $24.99. Read all of the testimonies and how great it's been working out for everybody else. And I hope it does the same for you. And I know it will because I'm pretty confident in it. You guys made me pretty confident in it. www.faithfamilyfinance.co and subscribe to the email list. So, life insurance for babies. Life insurance um, start for children, or when anybody's born. Life insurance start at the youngest of 15 days old. So you can just have a baby. Baby could be 2, 3 months. You know, life insurance start at 15 days old. I say this to a lot of people, and they're like, "Wow, I never knew that." Yes, life insurance start at 15 days old. Nobody has to be a certain exact age to be able to get life insurance. When you're born, 15 days, you're eligible for life insurance. And the reason that, you know, is so important, and I stress this to a lot of my clients and people that reach out to me, is so important to have permanent insurance, or even if you have term, it doesn't matter, but it's very important to have insurance outside of work. And I think that this life that we live and what we're feast upon, I think that is super important for children to have their own policy as well, because leveraging their own policy does phenomenal things for them. You're building wealth for them from the rip. Now, I always tell you guys, like, I don't talk about or teach anything that I don't have experience in or I've never done. My son is 16. I started his first one. He was 11 years old. I started the first one for 100,000. That's what I highly recommend. Working a part-time job, whatever the case may be, I never took my son off. Always let him have, whatever the job gave. But I know what I'm balancing outside of the house and what I want outside of the job. I'm sorry. And then you have to have a purpose for them. Let me speak on that real quick. So people may ask me, well, how much life insurance am I supposed to have? Or, how can I do this? How can I do that? All of these things. Let me tell y'all this one thing, right? Me as being a life insurance agent, I can't tell you, oh, so unless I go over your financial history and your financial plan with you, I don't know what your personal things is. So you're supposed to know how much life insurance you need based on debt, based on how much legacy you want to leave, based on what you want to leave your children. My question, my thing that you need to know when speaking to someone about life insurance, you need to know what you want your life insurance to do. Yes, life insurance is a job. You give it a job like you give your money a job. So when you transition, because all of us will, you need to really sit down and think what's going on right now and what essentially could go on. What am I going to do for these kids? What legacy am I really leaving? What am I really working towards? You need to know what you want your life insurance to do. So if you start it for your child, like I started my son's 100,000 at 11 years old, I knew what I wanted that particular policy to do. When I started him another one, he turned 16 years old. We did the LLC and some other things. He turned 16, right? I know what I wanted that second policy at 16 years old to do that I opened for him. So you need to, I know what my policy is going to do for me. I know what I'm fueling into it. I know what it's going to fuel back to me. So what is it that you want your life insurance to do? That's the ultimate question. And I'll give you guys a couple tips. It's really good to lock in um, at a young age as a child too with their own policies because 80% of the time you're guaranteed and lock it in those premiums. Sometimes that premiums may increase. The child is 21 years old or something like that, but it's not a huge increase. And then if you've had this policy for so many years, the company's not going to hit you with like a huge premium, like, oh, it started out at 40, now I'm paying $100 a month. No, it doesn't do that. Because that's people's biggest fear too. Like, well, how do I want to pay these premiums? People are so fearful of stuff that they don't know. And it's like, okay, you can't afford $100 a month now, but at 21, maybe you want him to take control of that. Or even if it was, it's so much wealth in it. Why wouldn't you want to pay it if that was the case? But no, premiums don't hugely jump like that. So the main thing is locking in the premiums at a very young age. The second thing too is that I tell you guys all the time, life insurance is based on two things: age and health. So when you lock it in at a young age, they're clear of medical, nothing wrong with them, thank God. Like they're fresh. So they're totally insurable, they call it, right? Can't deny you. And then your age, what? You set on both sides. That's the whole goal, right? That's the way that other cultures, the Jewish people and so forth, how they pass down wealth. They're doing it and locking it in at a very young age. And we're like, oh, it's only his 18th birthday or his sixth, the bar mitzvah, all that. Like how they pass down a half a million or $1 million policy because they start them when they're born. That's what we need to get into, guys. It's very inexpensive. So instead of buying them all this stuff, which is fine, but it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice for what you want? The kids got everything they need. Y'all buying them Apple Watches, they got iPhones, they got Uggs, they got every pair of Jordans, they got the name brand clothes. The girls is wearing the name brand pocketbooks now. They got all of the flyest hairstyles that come out. Listen, what else is it that they need? You need to focus on the important stuff. And a bonus to that is that a portion of the premiums go to building cash value, which can, you'll have okay, let me break this down because y'all might not understand. So you have your premium, then you have your building cash value in the policy as well. And y'all asked me about this before, and I told y'all I was breaking down the Index Universal Life Policy. It's called the IUL. If you have more in-depth questions on it, just send me a DM or email me or comment or something. I'll help you out. So as you're paying your premiums, you're building cash value as well. You may say, what do I need cash value for? Because you want to build interest on your money to be able to make investments, to be able to pull money out and make different moves. Why is that the smart way to do it? Because you want interest on your money. That's always the smart way to go. So saving $500 or $1,000 in the bank for a year to 2 years, when you go back, it's going to be the same $1,000 because the bank don't give you interest 0.0025 or something like that. They're benefiting off of your money sitting there. So play the game smart and put the money in a place where you want to grow some interest on it. And you're able to pull money out of that policy. It's rules to it, and it's things that apply. And you're dealing with $1 billion companies. You're not just going to do what you want. You can play the game. You need to learn how to play the game properly, but you definitely can do it. Just following the rules. So it's things that apply, but it's also lots and lots and lots of leverage in helping it to do what you want it to do. And I think another huge thing too is that the big thing for me is that I'm solely in control. We have insurance through jobs. We have different things going on, connect group coverage and all this stuff with jobs, with your company, all of that. But guys, we're not in control. The main thing for me with having one child, and if and when I transition, he's like, it's so important for me to have control over my legacy. And that's the thing that you have when you have coverage outside of work versus work. And I wanted to be real and be honest with you guys and let you know that yes, it is a long term commitment, but it's definitely a wealth builder as well. So you have to be committed in some shape or form if you want something in return. Like in order to, you have to be committed. So if your child is, really young, whether they're 8 years old, whether they're 13 years old, whether they're 17 years old, it's still a really inexpensive premium. You need to lock it in right now and start them a $500,000 policy. Like it's so inexpensive. And you need to understand and you need to know how to make it work for you. And you don't know how to make it work for you or what leverage it gives you. That's why you have not yet invested in it or had the conversation about it because you're not sure what it'll do for you. So you need to prioritize getting educated on what this thing does and how these policies work for your children so that they can do what you want them to do. That's the goal. So if you don't get educated, then you'll never know. You'll just play the game the hard way. Work and try to save $1 million. It won't happen. So I think that everyone's goal should be at least, especially if why not be bare minimum 500,000? It's really inexpensive. Single moms understand you might have two, three, four children in a household. You're sort of responsible for everything. Bare minimum start off with 100,000. You guys have teenagers, they starting to work, they want things, they got money coming in, they need to learn priority. Stock market and all those things is good too. Sit them down and show them how a life insurance policy will work for them. Because kids love to see, the return, what their money is going to do. I know my son was like that. You can be like, he don't care how much money you talking about or what it can do. I had to sit him down, bring it up on the laptop screen. This is yours. This is you. This what this can do. What do you want it to do? And it's communication and having a conversation. But again, if you're not educated on a particular topic, you guys ask me all the time, when is it the appropriate time to talk to my kids about finances? If you're not educated in what you want to talk to them about, then you can't present it to them. And I don't suggest that you do. I suggest that you put them in places with people that are educated in that area so that they can get the proper information. Because if you don't know what you're talking about, you're not going to deliver right. And you can't deliver right if you're not educated on finances, if you haven't prioritized and learned things for yourself first. So that's why I consistently give you guys the freebies. You can go to www.faithfamilyfinance.co. Good morning to you guys that's just jumping in. You can download you 60 ways to come back, millionaire game plan, millionaire mindset. It's a lot of things on there. And most importantly, go grab you a financial planner. It's on sale for $24.99. So that's my thing. If you missed the tips that I gave out concerning, guys, start your kids their own life insurance policy. The premiums are very inexpensive, especially if they're very, very young. Don't just have your whole life tied to life insurance through a job because it's only temporary. When you leave that company, you have no life insurance. And then if you keep waiting until you're too old to get life insurance outside of work, life insurance is more expensive the older you are and the more medical and health conditions you keep running into. So don't hop life insurance from job to job. Then you look around, you're 40, 50 years old, like, oh, I ain't working no more, and you have no life insurance, which you ain't had nothing but, probably 100 or 150,000 from the job. But still, that's no money because you're not beating inflation. You should always have more. Give what the job, sign up for what the job have, the little 10, $15 out your check for what, two, 300, 100,000, but you have no control over that. That's group coverage. Get yourself and your children something outside of the job. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM, you can email me, contact me, let me know what you need. I just added on Jersey. So I tell you things, a lot of things that your life insurance agent don't tell you, because this is not a sales game where I'm dealing with my community. We lack a lot of education of things that should be priority, but to some people it's not. But it doesn't mean that we don't need the help. So your girl's licensed in 5 states now. We just added on Jersey. I'm licensed in Georgia. Got a lot of clients in Atlanta, Decatur, all around areas. Then Connecticut, I picked up in that area. Philly, of course, that's where I'm from. That was my no Philly one. Philly was my second license, because that was my second group of supporters, because that's where I'm from. But I started first in North Carolina, because that's where I was living at the time, and I still do. So 5 states, your girl's license. You're looking to build wealth, need life insurance, want to get yourself, your spouse, your children's covered. Holla at your girl. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I've had a late start. It's 10:30 and I have things to do. So I hope you guys have a great day.